Okay, fine. Sure. So, okay, like, have you guys decided anything that you wish to do today? Like, did you have any informal talks or something like that? Could anyone tell me like what you plan to do today?
Yes, sir. We kind of planned for a few more topics for today, and we prepared for the GSLs, I believe, and that's it. And tomorrow we are planning on having the discussion for the documentation process.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll start from where we left. That is the last thing that we did yesterday were they were the GSL speeches. So we start off from our GSL speeches. The next speaker on the list for the GSL is the delegate of China. Delegate of China, just give me 1 second.
Chair, can I be shifted to the next position because I'll be rejoining from the computer. The
Um,
network is not stable
sh-
here.
sure, delegate. Okay. Right. So the next speaker that we have on the list is the delegate of Dominican Republic. Delegate of
Thank you
Dominican
for the
Republic, you have the
recognition.
floor.
Thank you for the recognition. The crisis in Yemen began in 2011 and escalated in 2015 and has made the country a living hell for its citizens, especially its children. As mentioned in my previous speeches, cooperation is key, and the Dominican Republic urges countries to take action, as without the same, there isn't going to be any further development on the Yemen scenario. In 2018, parties to the conflict in Yemen came together in Stockholm and agreed to a series of undertakings that raised hopes for the citizens and for a peaceful settlement of the conflict. But delegates, are we sure that this is the way to approach the situation? Though this agreement hoped to have a peaceful settlement of the conflict, the rebels went against it quickly, causing tension on a global level. The militant groups terrorizing and slaughtering the various citizens of Yemen and the number of related attacks are simply increasing. And so, how is a peaceful settlement truly going to work? If it was to have worked, the same would have happened by now. But frankly, all that is happening is escalation and increased violence, which the Dominican Republic finds unacceptable. Countries make contributions, but unless the issue of the variety of attacks in Yemen itself isn't resolved, how would these contributions truly have a long term impact? Which is, after all, what this committee is trying to achieve by concluding the Yemen crisis and finding implementing implications for the Yemen crisis. Thank you.
Right. Delegate, I'm so sorry. Could you repeat the last point you said because I got disconnected?
Sure, just 1 second, please. Okay. Countries make contributions, but unless the issue of the variety attacks in Yemen itself isn't resolved, how would these contributions truly have a long-term impact? Which is, after all, what this committee is trying to achieve by concluding the Yemen crisis and finding implications for the Yemen crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. So I believe that you had around 7 seconds remaining. How do you wish to yield your time?
I'd like to yield it to any questions if there are any.
Okay, so all the delegates wishing to ask points of information to the delegate of Dominican Republic, kindly raise your hands. Right, seeing no questions, we move to the next speaker. Has a delegate of China joined back? Delegate of China.
Yes, Chair. Am I audible? Because I'm not able to hear everyone clearly.
Right, delegate, you are audible to me. So you have the floor for the next 90 seconds. Delegate, are you facing any problems? Right, I think the delegate of China is not able to speak, so we'll move to the next speaker, that is the delegate of Germany who is absent. So, right, I'll be asking for more speakers for the GSL. So, all the delegates wishing to speak in the GSL, kindly raise your hands. And as of now, the simple majority stands at 3 because you have 4 delegates, so 2 plus 1 is 3. Right. United Kingdom followed United Kingdom followed by South Africa, followed by Dominican Republic. Right. Delegate of United Kingdom, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Despite the contributions of the UN and its multiple organizations, the question remains, if so many initiatives have been taken, why hasn't the conflict ended? Is international intervention a good method of stabilizing the state? The major contribution of each country is crucial, and this is visible in the progress of the resolvement of the crisis. The possibility to extend the scale of measures already employed remains. As a delegate of Dominican Republic said before, if a country can provide amenities to Yemen while keeping their state stable and choose not to, their contribution is incredible. The GCC, along with many other countries recently joining it, are an act of international intervention in the process, and they have tried multiple methods to see which works out best. International intervention by countries like the UK, USA, France, and many more have made impacts in the crisis, and therefore the conflict hasn't ended because we need the support of all states present in the UN. The delegate of the UK will also be talking more about the role of the UN in this in their upcoming speeches. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. You have about 25 seconds remaining. How do you shield your time?
I would wish to yield my time to any questions or points of information.
Perfect. So all the delegates wishing to ask points of information, right? Delegate of Vietnam, you've been recognized. And delegate of Vietnam followed by delegate of Dominican Republic.
Could you please justify the good part of British intervention in Yemen?
Delegate, I've already answered this in your question through chat via EB
Okay.
on the WhatsApp chat.
Perfect. Thank you, delegate. Delegate of Dominican Republic, your question.
I just have a small question to the delegate of UK. It's regarding what is the time frame that if any, what time frame does the UK expect the Yemen crisis to be solved based on the donations and the resources that they are already giving, since they are contributing a lot?
The UK would really appreciate if the conflict would end by 2030 at maximum, because any further than that, it's going up to a civil war like World War III.
Right, perfect, delegate. Thank you. Okay, seeing that, are there any points on the floor?
Chair, I'm back. Can I give my speech?
Sure, delegate of China, just 1 second. Are there any points on the floor? Okay, seeing no points. Delegate of China, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Yes. Okay, delegates, catering to the question, how successful has the UN been in Saudi Arabia and what is it lacking? The role of Saudi Arabia is of importance in Yemen conflict. But ironically, Saudi Arabia, being a member of UNHRC, employs its efforts to prevent any measure against its action in Yemen. Even the presence of Saudi Arabia in UNHRC is contradictory due to its leading role in Yemen war. United Nations is reluctant to the question the role of Saudi Arabia, also because it is highly dependent and funds by the Saudi crown. This allows the Saudi administration to mold the situations in its own interests, even if humanitarian crisis is being generated. Due to this, Saudi government was able to force UN to withdraw its name from the list of shames for violations against children in Yemen. This highlights the weak administrative standing of the United Nations. Although Saudi Arabia is not a part of Security Council, its strong allies, America and UK, allow it to go by its own rules. The US and UK have strong economic and political ties with Saudi Crown, which allows them to see it as a reliable partner in the region. Both the states are also dependent on Saudi oil, which is being provided to them on easy terms for supporting Saudi extremism. Moreover, the overall powerful standing of Saudi Arabia also enables it to support the economy of US and UK by buying arms and ammunition. This means that ongoing war is in greater interest of the power players, and being a weak body, UN fails to fulfill its promises. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. You have elapsed your time. Okay. Are there any points on the floor?
A
Seeing no
point of
points, are there
personal
any motion?
privilege.
Yes, delegate.
Chair, could you please repeat the order for the GSL?
Right. So the delegate of Germany's name has been removed since the delegate of Germany is not here. The next speaker that we have is the delegate of South Africa, followed by the delegate of Dominican Republic.
A point of personal privilege.
Yes, delegate.
Yeah, could the delegate of China name herself the delegate of China, because is that
Oh,
possible?
sure. Delegate of China, please rename yourself to your portfolio. Right. Okay. So are there any motions? I ask again, are there any motions on the floor? Okay. Seeing no motions, we move back to the GSL. The next speaker on the list is the delegate of South Africa. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Okay, thank you, Chair, for recognizing me. The current situation does not seem to offer any serious prospect of improvement. The war is still raging, and the consequences of the past years are taking their toll on the country on all levels. The insufficient humanitarian aid, the Houthis refusing to back down, constrained constant airstrikes from the coalition, and the repeated disruptions of UN led peace are just a few factors that are steadily dragging the country closer to the brink of total destruction. It's high time that the countries begin to think of possible solutions and methods to bring some kind of stability to Yemen to ease the situation a bit till the time new reforms and political changes are made. Talking about ceasefires and peace talks, there have been attempts of peace talks between the warring parties. One of them had been organized in this late November 2018. Government had rebel forces announced on 19 November 2018 their intentions to agree on a ceasefire and convene for peace negotiations in Sweden. They were not very successful. The talks in Sweden are still ongoing, and the delegate of South Africa hopes that soon the situation will be eased. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate of South Africa. You have about 15 seconds remaining. How do you wish?
I'd like to yield it to the chair.
I'm sorry, guys. Am I the only one facing internet issues, or can everybody hear South Africa?
We can hear South Africa,
Yeah,
Chair.
we
You're
can.
lagging.
Yeah, Chair, your voice is breaking a lot.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Chair.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Delegate of South Africa, I'm so sorry. How do you wish to yield your time?
I'd like to yield it to the chair.
Okay, sure. Thank you, delegate. Okay, I need to ask for more speakers for GSL. So all the delegates wishing to speak in the GSL, kindly raise your hands. Delegate of Vietnam has been recognized, followed by the delegate of China. Are there any other delegates wishing to? Okay, delegate of South Africa has also been recognized. Sure, are there? Okay, delegate of Dominican Republic, you're already on the list. So once
Yeah,
you
I'm sorry.
complete
I
with
think there
that
was some
speech,
lag.
we can add your name again.
Yeah, I think there was some.
Chair, if you're speaking, you're not audible.
Delegates, I'm so sorry. Am I audible now?
Yes, Chair.
Yes.
Yes, Chair.
Right, again, I apologize. There is some construction going on, so the network has been really terrible since yesterday. right? So I'm so sorry for that. Delegate of Dominican Republic, you are already on the list. So once you finish with that speech, we'll recognize you again. Right? Perfect.
Sure.
So are there any points on the floor? Are there any motions on the floor? Okay. Delegate of China, followed by delegate of South Africa. Delegate of China, what is your motion?
Yes, sir. Just a second. Yeah. The delegate of China would like to suspend the formal debate and move into a moderated caucus on the topic role of the UN in this crisis, with emphasis on the UNSC, for the total time being 10 minutes and individual speakers' time being 60 seconds.
Thank you, delegate. That motion is in order. Delegate of South Africa, what is your motion?
Same motion, Chair.
Okay. So all the delegates who second the motion raised by the delegate of China, that is the role of the UN, or with special emphasis of the UNSC, for the total time being 10 minutes and individual speakers time being 60 seconds. Kindly say seconds verbally.
Seconds.
Seconds.
Okay. Any oppositions?
Opposition.
Okay. Seeing both seconds and oppositions, we move into voting. 1 second. Okay, so there are 5 delegates. The simple majority stands at 3. So all the delegates in favor of the motion raised by the delegate of China, kindly raise your hands. Okay, all the delegates against that motion, kindly raise your hand. Okay, this motion clearly passes. So now you are now in a mod caucus for the total time being 10 minutes and individual speakers time being uh, 60 seconds, with the topic being the role of the UN with special emphasis on the UNSC. Right. Delegate of China, do you wish to be the first speaker?
Yes, Chair.
Sure. Okay. So delegate of China is the first speaker. All the delegates wishing to speak in this mod caucus, kindly raise your hands. The delegate of UK, followed by the delegate of Dominican Republic, followed by the delegate of South Africa. Delegate of Vietnam, do you wish to speak in this mod caucus?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
S- Right. Okay. No problem. Delegate. So delegate of China, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
Yeah. First of all, there are some loopholes in UNSC. UN Security Council power of veto has caused more harm than good. Each member of UNSC has veto power, which has led to near paralysis at the Council on some major crises like Yemen. Lack of political support from the Security Council has stalled the peace establishment in Yemen. Therefore, it is imperative for the Security Council to cater Saudi Arabia, US, and UK to end the plights of the Yemeni citizens. United Nations must perform its duty as an effective mediator, as further negligence can wipe off the country from the map of the world. Moreover, several loopholes exist in the settlements effort of the United Nations. The resolution number 2216 of UNSC to protect human rights in Yemen considers only two parties to the conflict. There is a constraint in achieving the settlement because throughout the country there are several political factions who have varying interests. The concerns of other tribal and social groups like General People's Congress, civil society, and women are neglected. United Nations must realize
Delegate,
that
please
peace
wrap up.
establishment is impossible. United Nations must realize that peace establishment is impossible unless all the parties involved are equally and fairly dealt.
Thank you, delegate. Okay, so one thing I believe is that when I say wrap up, it kind of disturbs your flow. So once you finish with the time, what I'll do is that I'll send a dot in the in your personal chat so that you know that your time is over and you need to wrap up. Okay, perfect. Right. We move to the next speaker, that is the delegate of United Kingdom. Delegate of UK,
Point
you
of
have the floor for the next.
delegate. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
delegate.
Yeah, how long is the time for each speaker? What's the time for each
It is
speaker?
60 seconds, delegate.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sure. Delegate of United Kingdom, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
The preamble of the United Nations Charter states that the purposes of the United Nations include saving future generations from the scourge of war and to promote better standards of life and larger freedom. The United Nations has been engaged in the crisis and has taken significant steps towards the resolvement of the same. The Yemen crisis has been benefited by significant events enabled by the activity of the UN. UNSC, UNICEF, WHO, and UNHRC, and many more work towards the same cause. The UNSC, in particular, has expressed deep concern over conflicts like the slow pace of negotiations, targeting of oil sources, and the growing risk of COVID 19. They have called upon local and global parties for aid and welcomed the coalition to support legitimacy in Yemen, and additionally called on the parties to implement the requirements of the Riyadh Agreement, which explained in detail political, economic, humanitarian, security, and military amendments in Yemen. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. You have elapsed your time. We move to the next speaker, that is the delegate of Dominican Republic. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
The United Nations has been a key player in drawing the Yemen crisis to a close. But, fellow delegates, more has to be done by the UN to truly have an impact when it comes to ending this crisis. The UN has a huge platform when it comes to communication and spreading awareness about issues. This delegate urges it to be more proactive with the same and continue to spread a large amount of information to a variety of platforms. As the care of IDPs is key, the UN should have basic information about the same in order to give a holistic analysis based on statistics to give them basic homes and resources. As the UNSC plays a key role in weapon and armed conflict, it's imperative to this scenario that they take control of the amount of armed trades between nations to, for example, Saudi Arabia, to prevent further harm from militant groups in Yemen. The UNSC Resolution 2201 states that this resolution demands immediate as well as unconditional withdrawal of the Houthi rebels from the government institutions. It is imperative that the action from this resolution that the UNSC put forth must happen, for without the same, there won't be any resolution. The conditions and things that the citizens and the nation of Yemen are forced to bear are unacceptable on both of an individual level and for basic human needs and capacities. The Dominican Republic calls for action to be
Delegate,
taken
please
now.
wrap up.
Yes, one second. By both the UN and fellow nations. Thank you.
Right, just one thing. Please see the dot which I sent on the chat so that you know that when to wrap up. Perfect. We move to the next speaker on the list. That is
Chair,
the delegate of. Yes.
we didn't receive any dots. Like for mine, you said my time had elapsed, but I didn't receive any dots though.
Right, you were at 59 seconds, so I sent one at 1 minute, so that is why. Right, we move to the next speaker. That is the delegate of South Africa. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Chair, for recognizing me. The situation in Yemen has attracted high levels of international concern. The UN's involvement has thus for primarily been one of a mediation. In 2011, the UN had involved in mediating talks with the GCC during the transition government period. UN-sponsored talks between the Hadi government on one side and the Houthis and pro-Saleh General People's Congress members on the other commenced in April 2016. However, these peace talks collapsed by August 2016, which has since led to a series of tit-for-tat escalations in violence across Yemen. These include a Houthi attack on an Emirati vessels in the Red Sea and Saudi attack on a Yemeni funeral hall that led to massive regional and international shock and condemnation. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. All the other delegates wishing to speak in this mod caucus, kindly raise your hands. Okay, delegate of China has been recognized, followed by the delegate of South Africa, followed by the delegate of Vietnam. Or any other delegates wishing to speak in this mod caucus again, kindly raise your hands. Okay, sure. So we move to the next speaker on the list, that is the delegate of China. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
Okay. Along with the other loopholes, an effective peacekeeping mission is absent in Yemen. The condition of human rights is beyond meager. To United Nations needs to reform its laws governing peacekeeping missions. Laws need to be binding and effective, irrespective of the powers involved. United Nations must realize that rather than requesting mercenaries from various countries, a special force must be maintained for effective and speedy peacekeeping. Moreover, there is also a need of across the board accountability within the UN. There is, in fact, the suspect of a rampant financial corruption in the UN. Delegates, as stated by me in my previous speeches about the loopholes in the UN, we definitely need to sort out these loopholes sitting in a UNSC committee to put the best foot forward in solving this immediate crisis at hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Delegate, I just had a question. Could you please explain that point about mercenaries?
Yes, Chair. So should I explain or should I repeat it?
Could you first repeat it and then explain it? Like, what did you
Okay.
mean by that statement?
Yeah. So the line said the United Nations must realize that rather than requesting mercenaries from various countries, a special force must be maintained for effective and speedy peacekeeping. So the basic point here was many delegates in this committee are reinforcing the fact that we need to request investments and funding from different nations in the world. However, the funding will not alone help. We need a peacekeeping mission and a neutral body which can help to resolve this crisis. Not only funding can help it.
Sure, Delegate. Okay.
So I
I
hope I
had
have
a
explained.
question. Right. That was perfect. I just had a question. You will not be marked upon this. Is just a general question, right? Are you open to that question?
Yes, Chair.
You said the UN should not request mercenaries from other countries and should actually set up a peacekeeping force of its own. However, if you check into the peacekeeping operations of the UN has no standing army of its own. So, whatever peacekeeping operations they have going on are actually the troops of other countries that have been sent into the host nation, say Rwanda, say Democratic Republic of Congo. So the UN needs to ask the other countries for these troops because UN has no army of its own. So like how do you justify your statement that the UN should stop asking for mercenaries from other countries?
Chair, I'm not sure about that. I'm sorry.
No, I understand completely. So next time
I
what you do
understood
is
your
that
point.
before Right. So next time, what you do is that before telling about peacekeeping forces and stuff, just take a brief look at what peacekeeping operations, how they actually start, because the UN has no army of its own. It requests other countries to give their troops to the UN so that the UN can send them to the other countries where the situation is hostile. For example, India will give troops to UN. UN will send those troops to, for say example, Democratic Republic of Congo, and in turn, the UN will give some amount of money to India for sending those troops. So the UN has no army of its own. It is just like a middle party. So next time when you say and in any, I mean, that many people say that peacekeeping forces, but they don't actually know how the peacekeeping forces work. So next time, take a check on that, like how the peacekeeping work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, delegate. The next delegate we have on the list is the delegate of South Africa. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Chair, for recognizing me. In continuation to my previous speech, since the beginning of the Yemeni civil war in early 2015, the United States Security Council has passed three major resolutions, while several other statements had been made on behalf of the UNSC or UN as a whole, and the UN has encouraged peace talks and ceasefires while condemning major attacks and human rights violations. These three resolutions are notable in that they take direct action against the violence in Yemen. Namely, the UNSC has maintained sanctions and an arms embargo against the Houthis and Saleh loyalists and established a panel of experts on the Yemeni situation since 2014. In April 2015, Resolution 2216 established an arms embargo preventing the supply of weapons or any other military equipment to any individual or group acting for the benefit of former President Saleh and Houthi movement. The arms embargo and the 2014 asset freeze have since been maintained throughout the current situation.
Thank you, delegate. We move to the next speaker on the list, that is the delegate of Vietnam. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
Right. Thank you for the recognition. One of the poorest countries in the Middle East, Yemen has become a theater of Cold War between Saudi Arabia and Iran. The heaviest cost of the civil war turned proxy war was borne by the poor civilians of the country. But each month, UN's World Food Programme distributes over 100,000 metric tons of food commodities, reaching over 8 million Yemenis. The WHO and the UNICEF have reached 300,000 people with cholera vaccines. The UNFPA has provided sexual and reproductive health services to over 2,500,000 girls and women. But now, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, UN agencies and NGOs are forced to cut aid in Yemen, and the food aid has been cut by 50%. Thus, they are needed of urgent fundings.
Right. Thank you, delegate. We can still recognize three more delegates. So all the delegates who wish to speak again in this mod caucus, kindly raise your hands. Okay, seeing no more delegates, we are officially lapsed with this mod caucus. Are there any points on the floor? Seeing none, we move back to the GSL, and the next speaker on the GSL was the delegate of Dominican Republic. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
I'm going to personal privilege. Could I just have just a second, please? My laptop is lagging.
Right, no problem, delegate.
Okay, now I'm going to begin my speech. The Dominican Republic calls for a global level normalization of certain amounts of a nation's profit to be donated to a trust and financial fund for the Yemen crisis. Through the same, countries will be able to provide the bare minimum towards concluding and battling the civil war raging in the nation of Yemen. This would allow for the current minority, that is Yemen, to gain a base amount of stability through which, along with the support of the UN, especially the UNSC, would ensure that the same is maintained over long time periods, ensuring a nominal amount of amenities to the citizens in Yemen. As thinking forward is the only method through which a certain amount of an outcome is going to happen, the same must be done for the world to be ready to battle the post-crisis effects that will come with the Yemen crisis. We cannot continue to postpone concluding the same, as it is only strengthening its hold over Yemen. This delegate urges other nations to truly think about who they are supporting. A trust fund would allow for at least the basics to be given towards the Yemen crisis, which would ease the load that their government would have to handle and is being forced to take into account. Further allowing for a more structured method to get over this crisis whilst having an impact at a decent speed. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. You have 15 seconds remaining. How do you wish to yield your time?
Any POIs or questions?
Okay, so any delegates wishing to ask POIs to the delegate of Dominican Republic, kindly raise your hands.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes, delegate.
Can the delegate of Dominican Republic repeat what they said before structured methods?
Delegate, could you please repeat that point?
Okay. A trust fund would allow for the bare basics to be given towards the Yemen crisis from a nation, which could ease the load that their government would have to handle and is being forced to take into account. Further allowing for a more structured method to get over this crisis, with having an impact at a decent speed. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. Delegate of UK, I hope that's okay. And okay, any delegates wishing to ask POIs to the delegate of Dominican Republic, kindly raise your hand. Sure, delegate of United Kingdom, you've been recognized. So what is your question?
The delegate of Dominican Republic said yesterday in one of their speeches that providing just bare necessities or just bare basics, like she said today, would not be enough for the crisis in Yemen, but today she's contradicting the same point she made yesterday by saying those would be necessary. So I would like to ask.
May I answer, Chair?
Sure,
So,
delegate.
as mentioned in my speech, that would allow for at least the bare minimum. No way am I saying the bare minimum is going to be like enough for the Yemen crisis to be concluded. Aren't even being able to contribute the bare minimum and aren't contributing the same. This would allow them and give them sort of an ultimatum to contribute at least a minimum amount to Yemen, if that's answering your question.
Sure, delegate. Thank you. Any other delegates wishing to ask points of information, kindly raise your hand.
Um, Point of personal privilege.
Yes, delegate.
Could you please what's the GSL? What's the list? Who all have?
Sure, delegate. We have the next speaker as the delegate of Vietnam, followed by the delegate of China, and then the delegate of South Africa.
Okay.
Point of personal
Okay.
privilege.
Yes, delegate.
Due to some connectivity issues, my meeting got left. So am I supposed to repeat my speech or something? Because I'm not sure when I left the meeting.
No, delegate. It was your name was just called up because the delegate of Vietnam asked for the next speaker. So you have your speech after the delegate of China. So you
No,
don't
I'm
need to
talking
repeat
about
anything.
the mod speech, the one related to the UN and UNSC moderated caucus.
Oh no, that has been marked, delegate.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. So, okay, one thing I request you all to listen to the other delegate speeches more carefully and ask POIs, because one of the major part of MENs and debates is to ask questions to the other delegates, and this is something you have been lacking since yesterday. We move to the next speaker on the list, that is the delegate of Vietnam. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Okay, thank you for the recognition. The war in Yemen is a preventable humanitarian disaster, but if it's continued, it will take nearly 1/4 million people. If the war continues, it will also continue to disproportionately kill children due to lack of access of food, lack of access of health services, bad infrastructure. It is already placed among some of the worst conflicts since the end of Cold War. It's projected by the end of 2030, nearly 80% of Yemeni children will be malnourished. 66% of the population will lack access to proper sanitation. 84% of the population will lack proper access to safe water, and 76% of children will not be in school. There would be additional of 1.8 million deaths, of which 1.5 million would be infants under which 5 years of age. The country is simply being affected due to selfish reasons of Iran and Saudi. And now, due to COVID-19, it is said that Saudi Arabia is searching for an exit strategy, believing that the pandemic can make it look like a humanitarian gesture instead of a surrender. These numbers are horrendous. And to prevent this number to exceed, one of the methods is to have a partnership of government which adheres to all the communities, somewhat how the government has been established in Belgium. But it's obviously easier said than done, considering this conflict has so much heavy military intervention.
Thank you, delegate. You have about 5 seconds remaining. So how do you wish to yield your time?
To the chair.
Sure. Thank you, delegate. We move to the next speaker on the list, that is the delegate of China. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
So just a second. So just yes. So since the beginning of Yemen's civil war in 2015, Al Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, AQAP, has been maneuvering to position itself as one of the strongest fighting groups in the country. It is now arguably one of Al Qaeda's most important players. Although the mantle of notoriety has passed to ISIS, together with the focused efforts of policymakers, militaries, and the media, conflict has allowed AQAP to thrive, especially in Yemen's south, where it has doubled down on its bid to assert itself. In 2017, the group has conducted suicide attacks and car bombings on pro government soldiers. Although the US targets AQAP in the country with drones and has issued a $5 million reward for the capture of its leader, Kazim al Raimi, the group survives and uses multiple tactics to recruit and proliferate its ideology. The high stakes Yemen civil war has become imbued with proxy warfare and geopolitics, with Iran backing the Houthis while battling with Saudi Arabia for regional influence. This mix has given AQAP room and land to rebuild. Delegates, it's important to find a solution to resolve this problem of terrorist bases in Yemen. Otherwise, Yemen will become a playground for violent countries in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. You have about 12 seconds remaining. How do you wish to yield your time?
To POIs.
Okay, all the delegates wishing to ask POIs to the delegate of China, kindly raise your hand. Okay, seeing no POIs, okay. I need to ask for more speakers for the GSL. So all the delegates who want their name to be added to the GSL, kindly raise your hands. Delegates, am I audible?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So I need at least one speaker. So delegates who want their name to be added to the GSL, kindly raise your hands.
Point of personal privilege. I believe I'm already added to the list, so am I allowed to raise my hand again for the next round?
No, no delegate. You cannot until you've spoken the name already in the list.
Okay,
Right?
thank you.
Okay. Any other delegates
Chair,
who
could you
want
just
their name?
repeat the list? How many delegates were
Oh,
there on the list?
it is just the delegate of South Africa.
Okay, so just I'll add my name then.
I'm sorry, delegate. You want your name to be added in the GSL, right?
Yes, Chair.
Okay. So delegate of China has been recognized. Other delegates who want their name to be added to the GSL. Delegate of Dominican Republic, are you here?
Yes, I'll get my, sorry, yes, Chair, my laptop was lagging a bit, so I'll just switch off the camera for a minute, please.
Right. Okay. Delegate of Dominican Republic, do you wish your name to be added to the GSL?
As of now, I don't have any GSLs prepared.
Okay. Sure, delegate. So, okay, delegate of China has been recognized for GSL. Are there any points on the floor? Seeing no points, are there any motions on the floor? Delegate of United Kingdom followed by the delegate of China followed by the delegate of South Africa.
The delegate of the United Kingdom would like to suspend formal debate and move into a moderated caucus for dealing with the Iranian government's alleged support to Houthi rebels, with individual speakers' time being 90 seconds and total time being 10 minutes.
Okay, perfect, delegate. That motion is in order. Delegate of China, your motion.
Sure, same motion.
Okay, delegate of South Africa, what is your motion?
Same motion, Chair.
Okay, so you all second the motion raised by the delegate of United Kingdom. That was a moderated caucus on dealing with the Iranian government's alleged support to the Houthi rebels, with the individual speaker's time being 90 seconds. And I'm sorry, delegate, what was the total speaking time?
15 minutes.
Okay, so 15 minutes and 90 seconds. All the delegates who second the motion kindly say seconds verbally.
Seconds.
Okay, all the delegates who are in opposition to this motion kindly say oppositions verbally. Seeing no opposition, this motion passes. You are now in a moderated caucus with the total time being 15 minutes, individual speakers' time being 90 seconds, on the topic being dealing with the Iranian government's alleged support to the Houthi rebels. Delegate of United Kingdom, just give me 1 second. Do you wish to be the first speaker?
Yes, Chair.
Sure. Like, okay. So delegate of United Kingdom has been recognized. All the other delegates who want their name to be added, kindly say,
Uh,
kindly raise your hands.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes, delegate.
Yeah, would you be adding more names after this for the moderated caucus afterwards?
Uh, Delegate. Yes, I believe that there would be more names because you're only 6 people here right
All
now.
right, all right.
So all the other delegates who want their name to be added. Sure. Delegate of South Africa has been recognized, followed by the delegate of Dominican Republic, followed by the delegate of China, and okay. So, delegate of United Kingdom, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Thank you, Chair. Countering the Iranian influence on the Yemen crisis has always been on the agenda for the UK in regards to the Yemen crisis. The government said it had long standing concerns about their involvement and called on Iran to cease activities that held potential risks of escalating the conflict. It is widely believed that Iran has participated or contributed to actions against the welfare of Yemen and has done so as Yemen will serve as a strategic foothold. And although the country officially supports the Hadi government, many Gulf Arab states have accused Iran of backing the Houthi movement both militarily and financially. It is still unclear exactly how much Iran has contributed to the Hadis. The vocal criticism of coalitions lends the rebellion some regional support. The delegate of UK will be talking about how to deal with this in greater detail in their upcoming speeches. Resolution 2216 of the UNSC states all member states shall immediately take the necessary measures to prevent the direct or indirect supply, sale, or transfer to or the benefit of Ali Abdullah Saleh and more illegitimate power holders. The Iranian supply of knowledge and military power to the Houthi rebellion violates the targeted arms embargo. According to the UN panel of experts in Yemen, military support in the form of assault rifles, rocket propelled grenade launchers, and many more have been provided by Iran to the Houthi rebellion. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. We move to the next speaker on the list, that is the delegate of South Africa. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Okay, thank you, Chair, for recognition. Iranian backing at the Houthis appears to have increased over time. In 2017, in an interview, an Iranian official who said that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps had held a meeting on ways to empower the Houthis. At this meeting, they agreed to increase the amount of help through training, arms, and financial support, and the official said. Iran has issued official denials of accusations that is, it is arming the Houthis, but intercepted weapons shipments in the Arabian Sea have yielded rifles, rocket launchers, anti-tank guided missiles, and munitions that appear to have been a route from Iran to Yemen for the insurgency. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. We move to the next speaker on the list, that is the delegate of Dominican Republic. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Thank you for the recognition, Chair. The Dominican Republic frankly condemns Iran's alleged support to the Houthi rebels, as not only have they caused a variety of chaos in Yemen, but the speed at which they chose to turn their backs on the Stockholm Agreement was sickening and therefore reduced a variety of international relations. Iran's enemy, Saudi Arabia, is leading a Sunni Arab coalition fighting the Houthis in the impoverished state on the tip of the Arabian Peninsula, part of the same regional power struggle that is fueling the war in Syria. Sources with knowledge of many military movements who aren't identified at the moment said that in recent months, as of 2019, Iran has taken a greater role in the two-year-old conflict by stepping up arms and supplies and other support. As mentioned in previous speeches, $132,000 was taken up by the Houthi rebels and donations for a Lebanese ally, Hezbollah, in Syria. Though there aren't any specific statistics regarding the same, it is evident that these contributions have been made financially and more. UNSC Resolution 2201 states that this resolution demands immediate as well as unconditional withdrawal of the Houthi rebels. Not only have these rebels caused such a unprecedented crisis in the crisis that is already in Yemen, It has also caused for a lot of development to be slowed down and human rights to be taken away from a variety of citizens of Yemen. The Dominican Republic calls for the nations to work towards strengthening their international relations in order to be able to battle the Houthi rebels present in Yemen. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. We move to the next speaker on the list, that is the delegate of China. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Yes, thank you, Chair, for the recognition. By exploring Iran's interface in the neighboring countries, especially in Yemen, it is noticed that Iran, in interfering, has relied on three major considerations, which are considered as an Iranian blueprint to achieve the goals on penetrating and expanding its sphere of influence and hegemony over the region. First consideration, trying to exploit the chaos, schism, instability, and the weakness of the central authority to penetrate countries, then exploiting the divisions amongst the various political elites by supporting the factions which are doctrinally close to Iran and compatible with its orientations. Second consideration, Iran relied, with its policies which are diligent, on long-term political investments to support its partners or its loyal non-state actors. This is done by selecting and attracting groups of or factions that have better potential or have greater chances of success in the future, and by strengthening their mutual relations, encouraging and supporting them politically, financially, and militarily. Third consideration has basically two levels. First level, within the framework of the official political structure of states through political participation in official institutions of ruling government. So these groups would be able to have a decisive role in the key decisions in their state. Second level, outside the framework of the official political structure of states or in parallel with its sources and military arms, so that they are not completely under state power and are able to undercut the current political system when things go against their interests or against Iranian interests, as the case of the Houthis in Yemen or Hezbollah in Lebanon show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, delegate. All the other delegates wishing
A
to
point of
add their name to
order.
this.
Could
Yes,
the delegate
delegate.
of China please repeat the last part?
Delegate of China, could you repeat the last point of your speech?
The last point as well.
Before the Hezbollah, you said a point before that.
Okay, I'll repeat the last sentence. There's a second level outside the framework of the official political structure of states or in parallel with it through the organizational structure of these groups, independent funding sources, and military arms, so that they're not completely under state power and are able to undercut the current political system when things go against their interests or against Iranian interests, as the case of the Houthis in Yemen or Hezbollah in Lebanon show. Is that clear, Vietnam?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate of China. Other delegates who want their name to be added to the small caucus, kindly raise your hands. Okay, so delegate of United Kingdom, followed by the delegate of China. Any other delegates who want their names to be added to the GSL? Oh, sorry, Mod Caucus. Sure, okay, seeing no more names, the next speaker is the delegate of United Kingdom. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Thank you, Chair. Reiterating my previous points, Resolution 2216 of the UNSC states, all member states shall immediately take the necessary measures to prevent the direct or indirect supply, sale or transfer to, or for the benefit of Ali Abdullah Saleh and more illegitimate power holders. The Iranian supply of knowledge and military power to the Houthi rebellion violates the targeted arms embargo. According to the UN panel of experts in Yemen, military support in the form of assault rifles, rocket-propelled grenade launchers, anti-tank guided missiles, and more sophisticated cruise missile systems have been provided to the rebellion from the country. Some of those weapons have technical characteristics similar to arms manufactured in the Islamic Republic of Iran. These arms include short-range ballistic missiles, UAVs, surface-to-air missiles, anti-ship missiles, drone boats, and sea mines. The UK believes that the Houthis are independent actors and are not in any way obligated to Iran. Special Representative for Iran, Brian Hook, says Iran clearly does not speak for the Houthis, nor has the best interests of the Yemeni people at heart. Iran is trying to prolong Yemen's civil war to project power. Iran should follow the calls of its own people and end its involvement in Yemen. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. We move to the next speaker, that is the delegate of China. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
There is another consideration that the delegate of China is important on the Iran's blueprint. Strengthening the Iranian regime's legitimacy by succeeding on the external level. The desire to achieve success at the external level to support the internal situation of Iran's regime is one of the most important objectives of Iran's role and interference in Yemen, as well as in other countries. There is an obvious link between this interference and the internal Iranian conditions, which are in decline and have led to significant decrease in the regime's legitimacy. Also, a crisis in confidence has emerged between the regime and social sectors in Iran. To cover up the internal problems and crises, the Iranian regime has an active interference policy overseas via intensifying its support to factions and groups that are ideologically and doctrinally like-minded, whether in Yemen or Lebanon, and by recruiting these factions and groups for serving in its regional projects that would support its political legitimacy and strengthen its internal situation. According to the economic conditions, there is public discontent because of the regime's failure to solve socio-economic dilemmas such as the fall of development rates, upsurge in poverty, unemployment, inflation, and the worsening living standards. These are the dilemmas that have been increased because of the international sanctions imposed on Iran over its nuclear program and the decline in oil prices. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. Are there any more delegates who wish to speak in this mod caucus? Or if you wish to, kindly raise your hands. Right. Seeing no more delegates, we have officially elapsed this mod caucus. Okay, on an informal note, since this mod caucus has finished, what do you guys believe? Is Houthi a terrorist organization or are they a group of rebels? Like, I want an answer from everybody. What do you believe right now? Are Houthi
Group of
kind
rebels.
of a terrorist? A group of
Rebel.
rebels, perfect.
Group
They are
of rebels.
rebels who are acting out like terrorists.
I agree with
I just
Dominican
need,
Republic.
I need one.
They started as rebels, but the way they're acting, the control they have over Yemen, might even be equivalent to a terrorist group.
Right, okay. Have any of you gone through the Yemenis constitution? Have any, just,
I
have
think
you read, yeah,
it's a tribe.
yes,
I think
delegate?
Houthi tribe.
Houthis, Houthis are they are a faction of the religions, two base of
Yeah.
religions that the Islamism shows. However, they are a group of rebels. They have been considered terrorists by many countries, right?
Yes.
But has anybody gone through the Yemeni's constitution related to laws, something that could be related to the Yemen civil war? Have you gone through the Yemen constitution? Yes, no,
No.
No.
Chair.
no.
No,
Okay.
Chair.
So, okay, check one thing for, like, this is just for your research. This will not help you much in the committee wise, but this is just for, just check the Yemeni's constitution whether it gives the right to rebel groups to actually protest against the government in unimaginable ways, right? Of course, it does not say that, but once you read through that, just check the Yemeni's constitution if it gives the rights to rebel groups to protest against the government in huge ways. Just check that. This is for your information. You may find it very interesting what the Yemeni's constitution says itself, right? Okay. Are there any points on the floor? Are there any motions on the floor?
Chair, point of personal privilege.
Yes, delegate.
Sorry to bother you, but could you please tell me that where exactly am I supposed to send you the information about the plagiarism I sensed in someone's speech?
Uh, you can send it to me on personal WhatsApp, the document from which you believe they had plagiarized the entire thing, and also the name of the delegate and what they said in their speech.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Right. Okay. Are there any points on the floor? Are there? Okay, no. We'll revert back to the GSL. Right now, the delegate of South Africa, you are the next speaker on the GSL. You have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Okay, thank you, Chair, for recognizing me. As mentioned in my previous speeches, as a part of short-term solutions, an immediate reconciliation and justice process is necessary for society in Yemen to function and to achieve justice. In order to achieve justice, the delegate to South Africa would like to propose that it is possible to turn to the International Criminal Court (ICC), where suspected offenders can be prosecuted for genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and aggression. The ICC has its own charter and is independent of the UN. Genocide refers to certain acts of violence directed against a group of people in order to destroy all or a part of the group. Crimes against humanity are defined as a number of grievous crimes such as murder, torture, and the acts are committed as a part of widespread or systematic attacks directed against the civilian population. War crimes include a number of acts that violate the rules of war, especially when committed as a plan or policy, or when they form part of the practice of such crimes on a large scale. Examples of war crimes are intentional attacks on civilians that is basically what is happening in Yemen.
Okay, delegate, thank you. You have about 20 seconds remaining. How do you wish to yield your time?
Yielded to any points of information.
All the delegates who wish to ask points of information to the delegate of South Africa, kindly raise your hands. Delegate of Vietnam, you have been recognized. What is your question, delegate?
Right, yeah. What has South Africa done to aid the crisis in Yemen?
South Africa, on its part, to be very honest, has, of course, on its side, helped the people in Yemen who are going through the crisis. And otherwise, South Africa, at its best, is trying to spread some information so as to help the South African Yemenis people, as South Africa is not a very nearby and neighboring country. And at the same time, whenever, as mentioned in my first GSR, whenever asked for help by the Yemeni citizens or the government of Yemen, South Africa is there to help in any way.
Thank you, delegate. So we move, okay, we just have one more speaker. So all the delegates who want their name to be added to the GSI, kindly raise your hands. And I
So
request
I had a
every one of
question
you
for
to,
delegate of South Africa.
um, oh, okay, sorry, delegate, I did not recognize that. You have been recognized. So what is your question, delegate?
Delegate of South Africa, you already have many regional differences as well as many kinds of discrimination going on in South Africa. Which of the Hadis or the Howdy rebels do you support?
Could you please repeat the question? I did not understand the last part about the Howdy or the Hadi.
Uh, Delegate, the basic question in sense was that there are certain kinds of discrimination that have been on in your country. So, on the considering those discrimination, what group do you support? Do you support the Hadis or do you support the Houthis?
The Hadis, definitely.
Okay, so delegate of China, that is the answer to your question. The delegate of South Africa support the Hadis group, right? All the delegates who want their name to be added to the GSL, kindly raise your hands. Okay, delegate of Dominican Republic, followed by the delegate of South Africa. Anyone else who wants their name to be added to the GSL? Sure, okay. So, are there any points on the floor? Seeing no points, we move to the next speaker on the GSL, is that is the delegate of China. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Sir, actually, I'm not able to find a document where I had written this speech. I don't know.
Okay,
Just move to
sure,
the
delegate,
next
we
speaker.
can,
Just a second.
right, okay. Delegate of Dominican Republic, are you fine going right now for the speech?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, sure. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
It's no secret that a variety of nations are funding and supporting the wrong causes. Take the Houthi rebels, for example. Even though they're aimlessly spreading terror into an entire nation, minority or not, some countries choose to continue to support the same, as though choosing to look over all the damage they've created. This would only cause more damage, further slowing the development and the rate at which nations present in this committee would be able to negotiate the Yemen crisis. Their influence has grown since since the former Yemeni President Ali Abdullah Saleh in 2004, and they have taken over North Yemen by 2014. While the war in this country has a broader regional dynamic, frequent references to a group and its allies as a mere Iranian. Um, Sorry, Chair, 1 second. Chair, are you able to hear me? Because I am sort of glitching out of the call.
No, delegate, we are able to hear you.
Okay, may I start from my just a couple of words before?
Right, perfect.
Sure. Um, their influence has grown since the first challenging former Yemeni President Ali Abdullah in 2004, and they've taken up much of North Yemen by 2014. Even though the war in Yemen has a broader regional dynamic, the references to this particular group of rebels as not telling the whole story. The Dominican Republic proposes a systematic approach to this whole scenario to call for a global conference between the nation's leaders, the Haiti government, and the rebels. Even though the rebels consistently go against a variety of agreements, if the same is presented in a development focused manner, this makes their needs for rebelling the cause highlighted, and the same would be much more effective. Do think about this, fellow delegates. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. So, okay. Are there any points on the floor? Are there any motions on the floor? I ask again, are there any motions on the floor? Right, delegate of China, you have been recognized.
Yes, Chair.
Delegate of China.
Yes. The delegate of China would like to suspend the formal debate and move into a moderated caucus on the topic role of regional organizations in the current situation with respect to GCC and Saudi Arabia, for the total time being 10 minutes and per speaker time being 1 minute.
Okay, delegate, that motion is in order. Just next time, don't say 1 minute, it is 60 seconds. That is just a basic procedure thing, so nothing very much there. Delegate of United Kingdom, do you also wish to raise a motion?
Yes, Chair. May I go ahead?
Yes, yes, delegate.
Delegate of UK would like to suspend formal debate to move into a moderated caucus to discuss the role of regional intervention in the Yemen crisis with emphasis on GCC for a total time being 10 minutes and individual speakers' time being 60 seconds.
Okay, so by the order of disruption, we vote first upon the motion raised by the delegate of China. So all the delegates who second the motion raised by the delegate of China kindly say seconds verbally.
Second.
Okay, any oppositions?
Opposition.
Opposition.
Seeing vote, we move into voting. All the delegates in favor of the motion raised by the delegate of China, kindly raise your hand.
Point of personal privilege, could you please repeat the agenda raised by the delegate of China?
Yes, delegate. The motion was to suspend formal debate and move to a moderated caucus on the topic being the role of regional organizations with respect to the GCC and the Saudi Arabia. Okay, I hope that answers your question. All the delegates in favor of the motion, kindly raise your hands. All the delegates against the motion, kindly raise your hands. Okay, delegate of China, are you able to raise your hand?
Sir, I raised in favor of my motion.
Okay, I was not able to see your hand, but anyways, the motion fails. We move to the voting on the next motion. That is the motion raised by the delegate of United Kingdom to for a mod caucus on the topic being the regional intervention in the Yemen crisis, with the emphasis on the GCC, with the total time being 10 minutes and individual speakers time being 60 seconds. Delegates who second the motion kindly say seconds verbally.
Seconds.
Okay,
Seconds.
any oppositions? Seeing no oppositions, this motion passes. You are now in a moderated caucus for the total time being 10 minutes, individual speakers time being 60 seconds. On the topic being the regional intervention in the Yemen crisis with emphasis on the GCC. Delegate of United Kingdom, do you wish to be the first speaker?
No, Chair.
Okay, so 1 second. This is the sixth moderated caucus that you guys have done. Perfect. Okay, so all the delegates wishing to speak in this mod caucus, kindly raise your hands. Okay, delegate of South Africa has been recognized, followed by the delegate of United Kingdom. Any other delegates wishing to speak in this moderated caucus, kindly raise your hands.
Chair, it's possible to add your name after these speakers are done, right?
Yes, I'll be asking for more names. Okay, so right, no more speakers. Delegate of South Africa, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
Okay, thank you, Chair, for recognizing me. Okay, tensions in Yemen have only been further heightened and complicated by the heavy involvement of regional powers, primarily Iran and Saudi Arabia. Relations between Saudi Arabia and Iran have waxed and waned for centuries, but in the past few decades, their rift has been especially hostile. Historically, the relationship has been fraught in religious tensions, a power struggle for regional leadership in the Middle East, and taking by opposing sides in major conflicts. Though Saudi Arabia and Iran have been on opposing sides of the Sunni and Shia sects of Islam, irrespectively, it is important not to overstate the role of sectarianism in the rivalry. Sunnis and Shia share many fundamental beliefs of Islam and have coexisted for over 1,000 years. However, it is noteworthy nations' statues as leaders of Sunni and Shia Islam have informed their foreign policies, especially leading to alliances with countries sharing their respective theologies and backing militant groups in the countries that do not.
Thank you, delegate.
Thank
We
you,
move to the
Chair.
next speaker on the list. That is the delegate of United Kingdom. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Chair. The Gulf Cooperation Council, also known as the GCC, is an alliance between Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Oman, Qatar, and Bahrain. Nearly all GCC states have contributed to the Saudi-led intervention and aim to see the official government restored in Yemen. However, the aerial strikes that were conducted destroyed life-supporting ports, causing civilians to suffer. Learning from this, the GCC then approached a more peaceful negotiation with Saleh. Although he refused, the UK and various other countries took note of the efforts made by GCC in the interest of Yemen and joined the GCC alliance. The UK, as part of this alliance, has established a position in harmony with Saudi Arabia, the most powerful member of the group, and will take the necessary measures to ensure stability in Yemen. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. All the delegates who want their name to be added to this mod copies, kindly raise your hands. Delegate of Dominican Republic has been recognized, followed by the delegate of South Africa, followed by the delegate of China. Delegate of Vietnam, do you wish to speak in this mod caucus?
No. Yeah, no.
Okay. Any other delegate who wants their name to be added? Okay, seeing no one, we move to the next speaker, that is the delegate of Dominican Republic. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
Thank you for the recognition, Chair. As a variety of nations in the GCC are bordered with Yemen, it is imperative that they use this to an advantage. Or taking in a variety of IDPs, the GCC is a platform that can allow all of these nations to work together in order to help the Yemen crisis be concluded. Since 1981, the members of the GCC have been working in harmony, and the Yemen crisis is an event that requires cooperation between such important countries, especially when it comes to delivery of resources and basic human rights. As mentioned earlier in the speech, IDPs are a very key part of the Yemen crisis, as there are a lot of people who are homeless and don't have basic resources to move on in life. By cooperation of the GCC, all of these people could be given homes in specific countries and nations in the alliance of the same. And due to resources, different countries can donate different resources and provide the Yemen crisis with financial aid that it definitely requires to move on. The Dominican Republic urges other countries to analyze this situation to a manner that would allow them to use it to their strengths. Thank you.
Thank you so much, delegate. We move to the next speaker on the list, that is the delegate of South Africa.
Thank you, Chair, for
Delegate, you have
recognizing
the
me.
floor.
Okay. The Gulf Cooperation Council (GCC) is a loose political and economic alliance between Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and United Arab Emirates, Oman, Qatar, and Bahrain. The 6 members of the GCC share similar political systems and cultures run by autocratic monarchies. Saudi Arabia is the most powerful member in the group, often leading initiatives by the group. The GCC collectively possesses nearly half of the world's oil reserves. In 2004, GCC members signed a counterterrorism intelligence sharing pact, and in 2008, the GCC's common market came into existence. GCC members led by Saudi Arabia initiated talks during 2011 Yemeni revolution that resulted in the removal of former President Saleh from power, established of the Hadi government, creation of Yemen's transitional phase under Hadi, and initiation of the National Dialogue Conference. Though the UN also contributed to brokering peace, these talks, Hadi's transitional phase, and the NDC have been termed the GCC initiative. Understanding the failures of the GCC will be crucial in ensuring that when the international community can once again help facilitate peace talks in Yemen, it will be more successful in setting the foundations for long-term peace. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. The next speaker on the list is the delegate of China. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
Yeah, delegates, first of all, regional intervention is important. However, it needs to be done systematically. It should not include any kind of transfer of military weapons or any kind of military aid. All this could lead of elevating the situation. Alongside the UN, United Nations, the Gulf Cooperation intervened into the Yemeni conflict by crafting a model for a peaceful transition called the GCC Initiative and the Implementation Agreement. According to the agreement, a transition period was divided into 2 phases. The first phase provided presidential elections held on February 21, 2012. The second phase concerned a transformation process which included a change of the constitution, a constitutional referendum, a reform of the political and electoral laws, parliamentary and local council elections, and presidential elections if required. This phase was called the transition period, as stated by the fellow delegates, and was expected to last for 2 years. One of the major components of the second phase of this transition was the National Dialogue Conference, NDC. Its aim was to bring together the conflicted groups and reach a national consensus. It worked during the civil war in North Yemen in the 1960s when it was brought to an end through such a dialogue. Therefore, political elites decided to repeat this mechanism of reaching an agreement. Unfortunately,
Delegate, please wrap up.
Yeah, I'll continue in the further speeches.
Okay. Thank you, delegate. Any other delegates who want their name to be added to the mod caucus, kindly raise your hands. Delegate of China, you have been recognized again. Any other delegates who wish to speak? Seeing no more, delegate of China, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
Yeah. So continuing my previous speech, its aim was to bring together the conflicted groups and reach a national consensus. This transition phase worked during the civil war in North Yemen in the 1960s, when it was brought to an end through such a dialogue. Therefore, political elites decided to repeat this mechanism of reaching an agreement. Unfortunately, the rivalry between the elite factions for their own interest paralyzed the process. A proposed dialogue did not include all the social and political groups, but rather the dominant elite was overrepresented, such as President Hadi, the alliance of Amir family, General Ali Mohsen, and the family of the former President Saleh. This political rivalry and internal divisions on the Yemeni political scene played a destructive role for the state's civilization. This could take place again if we are not careful of the regional interventions involved. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, delegate. Any other delegates who want their name to be added to the Mod Caucus, kindly raise your hands. Okay, seeing no more delegates, we have officially lapsed the Mod Caucus. Right, okay. Are there any points on the floor?
A point of parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, delegate.
Could you go through the draft resolution, like how we will be conducting it once?
I'll go through it within the last 15-20 minutes of today's session so that you know what you need to do tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Any other points on the floor? Seeing no points. Okay. On an informal note, I need an answer from every one of you. What do you believe has not been discussed within well depth in this committee?
Chair, I actually had a point of personal privilege. I raised
Oh,
my hand.
sorry, delegate, I did not see your hand. What is your point of personal privilege?
I'm not really sure if it is a point of personal privilege, but can I just say it?
No problem.
I sent the delegate of China a chat on WhatsApp via EB. I would request them to reply to it as soon as possible, please.
Um,
Well,
Delegate
actually,
of
I was
China,
giving my
please.
speeches. I was giving my speeches right now, so I do not get the
Oh,
time to answer.
I
No problem.
understand there is nothing I can say. And delegate of Dominican Republic to reply or not reply to that chat is the delegate of China's choice. So that is something in which I cannot say anything to the delegate of China. And yes, on an informal note, what all do you believe has not been discussed in well depth in this committee? I need an answer from everybody. Like, do you believe everything has been discussed? Do you believe there are certain aspects which have not yet been discussed?
No, Chair, I
Chair,
think
I believe.
everything's been discussed.
Sorry, go
Okay,
on.
delegate of South Africa, go first.
I believe you're talking about the AQAP topic, but
I am
just
not
to
saying
clarify,
anything.
we have.
I just want your views on what do you believe has not been discussed. Just anything. I'm not saying like
Considering the mods we have discussed for later also, I am not sure if we have missed out something.
okay.
Um,
Delegate
I
of
have
I'm
something.
talking not about the future mods. I'm talking till now. What do you believe has not been discussed? So, delegate of Dominican Republic.
Personally, I think everything that the committee has discussed so far. I don't think there's anything that needs to be discussed. I think there's anything
Yeah,
that hasn't.
I think there's one thing that's important. That's the loopholes in the Yemenis constitution that has eventually led to all this.
Uh, okay, you may do that, but okay, you may do that. Your choice. Delegate of United Kingdom. What do you believe?
Chair, I was doing some research yesterday and today. I think the Riyadh agreement is very important. It's not been brought up yet, even though I plan to do it in my GSLs. It's not a part of a mod, even though I think it's
Okay,
pretty
there
contributing.
were a couple of Riyadh deals signed. Which Riyadh deal are you talking about? The most recent one, the 2021?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. That is also the point I was trying to bring up in the committee, that it is an important part of the Riyadh deal. Okay. Delegate of UK, could you just give like a brief explanation of what you understand of the Riyadh deal?
Chair, I have a full speech prepared for it, so can I just
Oh,
give that
perfect. Okay. No,
later?
no, I'm
Yeah.
really sorry then. Don't say anything. I'm really sorry. Okay. So do you guys believe anything else? Like, do you want to say anything else, or do you want me to know anything else? Nothing. Okay, perfect. So we move back to the GSLs. The next speaker on the list was the delegate of South Africa.
Yeah, point of
Delegate,
personal privilege. Could you just tell the list, like who all?
it is it is just the delegate of South Africa followed by the delegate of China.
Okay.
Delegate of South Africa, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Okay, thank you, Chair, for recognizing me. During the darkness of atrocities and sufferings, there are non governmental organizations trying to help the Yemen citizens whose help and work should not go unannounced. The global NGOs that provide Yemen services are ICRC, the International Committee of the Red Cross, has well organized operation on the ground in Yemen, efficiently delivering food, clean water, and essential household items. In 2019 alone, the ICRC assisted with food aid to more than 65,000 people people there, and it provided more than 5 million Yemenis with clean water through water and sanitation programs. The group has been outspoken in its call for an end to hostilities, working with all sides of the conflict. International Rescue Committee. The IRC provides life saving emergency aid, clean water, and medical care to millions of people in Yemen affected by the violent conflict and growing health crisis. The IRC is training health workers, deploying mobile health teams, and supporting health facilities with protective gear and proper water and sanitation services to fight COVID 19. Although the NGOs are trying their best to help the Yemen citizens, the war has not ended. The humanitarian crisis is still on, and thus Yemen is still in need of all the help it can get. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. You have around 10 seconds remaining. How do you wish to yield your time?
Yield it to the chair.
Okay, thank you, delegate. The next, okay, I need to ask for more speakers first. All the delegates wishing to add their names to the GSL, kindly raise your hands. Delegate of United Kingdom, you have been recognized. Any other delegates who want their name to be added to the GSL? Seeing none, okay. Are there any points on the floor? Seeing none, are there any motions on the floor? Seeing none, we move back to the GSLs. The next speaker on the list is the delegate of China. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Yes, sure. Just a second. Yeah. So continuing with South Africa, I'd like to focus on the NGOs that are working towards the Yemen crisis. However, they are not able to do so since the COVID-19 crisis has started. Focusing on the humanitarians who live and work in Yemen. The most important one that I feel is the Mona Relief. Fatih Al Radani has been called a hero by the Yemenis. He collects funds, buys food from local vendors, and creates patches of food for families who his group has identified as needy. These days, there is no shortage of meat. Another humanitarian group is of the Yemen Hope and Relief. Ahmed Al Gubari rescues children suffering from severe malnutrition. Families request his help, and he uses donated funds to transport and house them for weeks while their children are treated at nutrition clinics in major Yemeni cities. Also, organizations whose mission is to help Yemenis. Some of them are Yemen Aid and Yemen Relief and Construction Foundation. All the delegates, these organizations and humanitarian groups are working towards Yemeni's humanitarian crisis. It's difficult to do so without the funding because NGOs do not have money of their own. They get funding from different countries or different people who want to contribute to the crisis. The major point here is that some kind of funding should be requested from the World Bank for some period of time, and so that this Yemeni's crisis can be solved as fast as possible.
Thank you, delegate. You have elapsed your time. I need more speakers for GSL, and I request everyone to raise their hands to get added to the GSL. So all the delegates wishing to be added to the GSL, kindly raise your hands. Delegate of Dominican Republic has been recognized. Any other delegates who want the name to be added to the GSL? No one. Okay. Are there any points on the floor then? Seeing none. Are there any motions on the floor? Delegate of South Africa followed by the delegate of China. Delegate of South Africa, what is your motion?
Okay. Delegate of South Africa would like to suspend formal debate and move into a moderated caucus with the topic terror caused by the militant groups present in the nation with emphasis on AQAP, individual speakers' time being 90 seconds and total time being 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you, delegate. Delegate of China, what is your motion?
Same motion, Chair.
Okay, so all the delegates who second the motion raised by the delegate of South Africa, kindly say seconds verbally.
Seconds.
Uh, okay, all those against, oh sorry, all those in opposition, kindly say oppositions verbally.
Opposition.
Seeing both, we move into voting. All those in favor of the motion, kindly raise your hands. Delegate of China, are you not in favor of the motion? Sure, okay. And all those against the motion,
Chair, I'm
delegate of
having
Vietnam,
some
are
network
Yeah.
problems.
okay, delegate of China. So I am considering you to be for the motion. So I ask again, all the delegates in favor of the motion, kindly raise your hands. So delegate of China, Vietnam, South Africa. Perfect. All the delegates against this motion, kindly raise your hand. The delegate of Vietnam voted for the motion. So delegate of Vietnam, are you for or against the motion? Just okay, you're
I'm
for
for.
the motion.
I actually lowered my hand, but I don't know. I'm for the
Okay,
motion.
sure, delegate. Understood. This motion passes since there were three in favor and two against. So you are now in a moderated caucus for the total time 15 minutes, individual speakers time being 90 seconds. On the topic being the terror caused by militant groups with special emphasis to the AQAP. Just give me 1 second. Delegate of South Africa, do you wish to be the first speaker?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, delegate of South Africa is the first speaker. All the delegates who wish that the name be added to the mod caucus, kindly raise your hands. Sure, okay. Delegate of Dominican Republic, followed by the delegate of United Kingdom, followed by the delegate of okay, delegate of Vietnam, do you wish to speak in this mod caucus?
But like afterwards, I think there is time, extra time.
Okay, delegate, sure. So we move to the first speaker, that is the delegate of South Africa. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds. Yep, 90 seconds.
Okay, thank you, Chair, for recognizing me. The key issues in Yemen are manifold. The country and the government is unstable due to the ongoing civil war, and heavy shelling and sea blockades disrupt every aspect of civilian life. This situation leads to catastrophic humanitarian situation with millions starving and desperate need of medical attention. Furthermore, the constant and growing terrorist activity through AQAP and ISIL forces escalate the civil war further and pose a significant security risk. AQAP has emerged in Yemen in 2009 and has since then increased its activity. AQAP benefited from the destabilization of the government and state since the outbreak of the civil war. It is believed to pose a significant threat to the international peace and security, even more so than the general Al Qaeda branch. The Houthi and Hadi government focus on the civil war has left counter-terrorist measures by the wayside and AQAP unchecked, allowing AQAP to establish control over cities along more than 350 miles of coastline. Ports along the coastline profits from oil and parts of Aden. Furthermore, the rapid expansion of Houthi control in Yemen over the past year has pushed some Sunni tribes to align with AQAP against a perceived common threat. By establishing control over geopolitically strategic cities along the coast and major highways, AQAP has been able to create smuggling routes to supply its fighters and local people to create alliances. Thus, recent conflict in Yemen has allowed for not only AQAP's expansion of territory, but influence in Yemen as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. We move to the next speaker, that is the Delegate of Dominican Republic. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Thank you for the recognition. Since the beginning of Yemen's civil war in 2015, the AQAP has been maneuvering to position itself as one of the strongest fighting groups in the country. It has a bunch of links with many tribes, power brokers, and therefore it has a lot of legitimacy than other extremist groups. AQAP's long-term presence in Yemen has always been a barrier to security, and the same must be put to an end, both for the personal lives of the citizens and in Yemen, and the fact that it's a matter of national security. The AQAP's control over Yemen has caused this unprecedented crisis to grow and escalate. In North Yemen, there's a Houthi-led rebellion. In South Yemen, there's a secessionist movement. How could this nation possibly sustain itself? And without these groups being stopped, the terror will continue to spread like wildfire. A main aspect of this is fundings of the weapons use. The Dominican Republic condemns countries that do these after all the sorrow and chaos that they've brought into a nation of full innocent people. A hybrid range of forces make up the military element of the Houthis, otherwise referred to as Ansar Allah, with some 60% former Yemen army loyal to Saleh after having allied with the group. A 2019 report by Renard Mansour and Peter Salisbury estimate that their strength is around 200,000 armed men with access to weapons and systems, such as long-range ballistic missiles and anti-tank guided missiles. The damage that those could do within seconds is not something I can even begin to imagine. This must be stopped, and the terror caused by these militant groups must be contained or completely abolished. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. We move to the next speaker, that is the Delegate of United Kingdom. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Thank you for the recognition, Chair. Historically, the Al Qaeda has been based in areas around southern Yemen, where the control of government was minimal or non existent. The Houthi and Hadi civil war has consequently left the AQAP unchecked, allowing them to establish control over many parts of the country, as the AQAP and the tribes have perceived a common threat. This alliance allowed the AQAP to create smuggling routes and has not only allowed and has not only allowed the AQAP's expansion of territory, but also their influence over Yemen. The ISIL too have caused many lives to be lost due to their suicide bombings in the country. The unstable political state and the consequences it brings have been and continue to be a great concern to the UK. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. We move to the next speaker, that is the Delegate of China. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Yes, thank you, Chair, for the recognition. Terror caused by militant groups present in the nation is quite important with the crisis. As the West scrambles to respond to recent events involving Yemen, it is important to consider that neither a military counterterrorism approach nor a short-term developmental approach can correct the source of the problem. These kind of solutions have already been taken up, but none of them have been successful. The heavily centralized system of power that keeps resources and political leverage in the hands of a select few and further entrenches Yemeni's economic hardship. The growth of militant jihadism in Yemen stems from the malignancy of the country's political system. Targeting AQAP's leadership in Yemen with US assisted airstrikes does not change this, nor is it likely to strengthen the Yemeni regime against militant jihadism in the longer term. The US assisted airstrikes conducted between in December 2009 have been seen on the Yemeni street as an affront to Yemen's sovereignty and were described in some of the local press as massacres. In the Western military intervention is likely to further entrench AQAP in local political consciousness as the jihadis continue to argue that the Yemeni government is America's lackey. The softer whole of government approach seems to assume that a loss for the Yemeni regime is a win for Al Qaeda, but this oversimplifies the current crisis. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, delegate. You have also lapsed your time. We do not have more speakers. All the delegates who want their name to be added to the mod caucus, kindly raise your hands. Delegate of Vietnam has been recognized, followed by the delegate of South Africa, followed by the delegate of Dominican Republic,
A point of personal
followed by,
privilege.
yes, delegate.
The speaker time is 90 seconds or 60 seconds.
It is 90 seconds, delegate. And followed by the delegate of China. Sure, delegate of Vietnam, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Yeah, thank you for the recognition. Firstly, our country is against the whole idea of military intervention and urges country not to participate in it. Despite recently suffering setbacks, Al Qaeda, the AQAP remains a major player in war-torn Yemen and a major regional and global threat. Now, in 2014, AQAP have been claimed responsibility for over 150 attacks in Yemen using tactics such as suicide bombings, IEDs, small arm attacks targeting both Houthis and Yemeni military governments, institutions, including military bases and presidential palace in Sana'a, military checkpoints and vehicles. And the police killing over 75 Yemeni government or military personnel. Latest in February 2020, Washington announced it had killed AQAP's leader Qasim al-Rimi in a drone strike. Al-Rimi is represented a significant target for US authorities due to because he was one of the main few remaining leaders who were part of the September 11 attacks in 2001. Following initial efforts to regroup and reorganize, AQAP's new commander Khalid bin Umar Batrafi inherits an organization on the back foot. Added with UAE's help, there have been major targeted assassinations. Now, with all this positive news, nothing yet proper has been recovered, as it is difficult to gain data in Yemen. But is this the right way to combat? Yes, and as the representative of Vietnam, this is the only way the influence of AQAP is being decreased.
Thank you, delegate. The next speaker on the list is the delegate of South Africa. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Thank you, Chair. With reference to my previous speech, political instability in Yemen has led to a rising presence to both AQAP as well as the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIL. The presence of these two extremist groups in Yemen has only further complicated and destabilized the situation and increased international concern. In March 2015, ISIL carried out its first major attacks in Yemen with two suicide bombings, which targeted Shia mosques in Sana'a and killed 137 people. ISIL also claimed major attacks in May and June, including a suicide car bombing that killed at least 40 army recruits in Aden. However, ISIL remains a smaller, newer presence in Yemen compared to the AQAP, whereas Al Qaeda's tribally entrenched presence in Yemen holds thousands of members. ISIL's ranks are still in the hundreds. Both the emergence of an ISIL presence in Yemen and the expansion of Al Qaeda in the region are a testament to the environment of political instability and its consequences and have been of great concern to the international community. Thank you.
Yes, sorry for that. Thank you, delegate of South Africa. The next speaker
Thank
on
you,
the list
Chair.
is the delegate of Dominican Republic. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
As mentioned in my previous speech, it's imperative that everybody works together and cooperates in order to find a proper solution to this problem that is AQAP and other regional organizations. The terror caused by these particular organizations is no small deal. Yemen statistics show that a variety of their citizens wake up every morning to the sound of bombs or terrors or the sound of shooting rifles, which is not okay, both for human rights and just as an individual person. The Dominican Republic asks nations to put their own differences aside and work together to fight the militant groups destroying Yemen. One way that this can happen is through a diplomatic approach, that is, a nationwide conference with the Yemeni groups and Yemen officials that are left, along with a variety of other nations' leaders that have a key role in the say in militant affairs. The same would allow for a midpoint to be found in a solution that would help both the nations and the people in Yemen itself, while still making the militant groups feel heard in a manner that is non-violent. Another approach could be through an ultimatum that would require a lot more cooperation between a bunch of nations in order to find an ultimatum that doesn't seem like it's going to cause any further breakage to international relations, but instead will strengthen the same, along with the militant groups. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. The next speaker on the list is the delegate of China. Delegate, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Okay, delegates, continuing with my previous speech, reinforcing the aspects of the Yemeni regime that threaten its survival. It's not the answer. A fundamental restructuring of the Yemeni political system is the answer. The system must become far more inclusive, which means removing considerable power from the incumbent elite. This is undesirable in the eyes of some victims that elite, particularly those who maintain their influence through extra constitutional means. At its foundation, this is an issue of leadership, and Yemen needs leaders who are willing and able to catalyze processes of progressive change. The question is whether the West, like the US, can engage in the intricacies of Yemen's domestic politics without being perceived to underwrite the source of the government's legitimacy problem. This is an enormously complex undertaking and assumes that decisive Western action can engender complex undertaking and assumes that the decisive Western action can engender greater long-term stability in the fragile state. This assumption is based on the long-standing development orthodoxy that foreign technical assistance and structural adjustment can change the nature of domestic political processes. As Yemen's future looks set to become increasingly turbulent, this orthodoxy deserves to be widely debated before being accepted.
Thank you, delegate. You have elapsed your time. There are no more speakers in the list. However, we can still recognize three more speakers. All the delegates wishing to speak again in the smart caucus, kindly raise your hands. Okay. Seeing no more speakers, we have officially elapsed the smart caucus. Are there any points on the floor? Yes, United Kingdom.
A point of parliamentary inquiry. I forgot how you tell the chair that somebody's speech is plagiarized.
You send a chat to me personally on WhatsApp saying that this delegate's speech was plagiarized. You send me the document from which he or she has copied it, and then I'll decide whether it was or it was not.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Delegate of China, what is your question? Like, to what point do you rise?
Chair, since we have a point of personal privilege, since we have only 4 minutes to go, so I was thinking if on the discretion of the executive board we can get an unmod.
If it's fine with everybody, I have no problem giving an unmod for 5 minutes. So, like, do you guys want to continue with the GSL or do you guys want an unmod for the next 5 minutes till we break? Yes, no, anybody?
An unmod.
And Marcher.
Perfect. Okay, then, okay. Are there any other points on the floor? Seeing none, by the discretion of the executive board, you are in an unmod for the next 3 minutes, that is till 2:30. And after that, you guys have a break till 3:30. Am I right? Yes, okay. So, yep, you can start.
Delegates, since we have only one mod left that we had decided, that was on the possible solutions. So, and we have 2 more hours. So we need at least 2 to 3 more mod caucuses, more mod topics, so that we can continue further. We can't directly go to the solutions part right now.
I agree with the
Just saying,
delegate China.
just saying the reason I voted against your motion for the AQAP mod is because I wanted to raise an unmod to discuss this exact same thing.
So we had bats. So apart from the ones that were sent in the WhatsApp group on UNSC, did we ever find any more caucuses to talk about? Or in the 8 that was sent in the WhatsApp group that I think we've used up all of them or combined them all, right?
Yes, yes.
So in the next we have what? We have after this 2 hours issue
Yeah, 2
committee.
hours.
2 hours. I'm so bad.
And I believe most of us have exhausted our GSL. So in the break, of course, we all will be busy writing the GSL. So I think we should prepare some more mods.
And do you think we should ask for the working paper if we can start a working paper?
Okay, I guess I'm fine.
Delegates of UK and China.
Yeah, I proposed this in the WhatsApp chat too. Just asking, when we'll be deciding tomorrow about the sponsors and signatories, right?
Yeah, for the DR. I think we should. I think I said this last time. We should have one DR for the entire block. If the delegate of Vietnam is here and fine with that.
I agree because Germany is not here. Belgium hasn't been here for like the past 2 days either, and
Indonesia, we don't know. So if there's 5 delegates in a committee, there's no point in making 2 job resolutions because that can't even be possible because
yeah.
it won't be fair. So we obviously have the
And
2/3.
the vice president is saying there'll only be one DR allowed. Sorry for
Oh,
interrupting,
okay.
Dominican.
So yeah. So then tomorrow we'll start working on that, the preamps and all.
But we still have to find.
Chair, do we still need a working paper or only a DR will suffice? Because since Dominican Republic is talking continuously about working paper, so do we need to prepare both of them? Because this never happens in IME.
No, see, it happens that you prepare working paper, and in UN official committees also, what happens is that the working papers are converted to DR. However, it is your choice. If you want to submit a working paper, it is up to you. Working papers are open, individual working papers and block working papers. And when you form a DR, however, only a single DR would be allowed because basically Namian Chatti follows that for every 13 delegates, we allow one DR. So since there are like only 6 delegates in the committee, there will be only one DR.
However, Chair, since I guess United Kingdom supports the Houthi rebels indirectly, and me and South Africa are for the Houthi rebels. So how will we come to a common consensus on this topic?
China, I'd like to know where you picked that up from.
No, just one
I
second,
got the hint
United Kingdom,
from
you
your
can
speech, I
ask.
guess. Sorry.
Just one second. There will be only one DR, no further questions. And that is coming to a consensus is what you need to do. It is essentially what lobbying is, but only one DR would be allowed.
Okay, so not to waste further time, can we just give some ideas for the more topics? Anyone who has them, one can be the Riyadh Agreement, of course. We can have a
Okay.
mod for Riyadh Agreement, if if everyone is fine with that.
How many mod caucuses do we need to make delegated China? How many mod caucuses do you think we should?
I guess we need at least three or four more.
I think
At
3,
least,
and then
yeah,
we
at
can
least three.
start our mod for possible solutions.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
let me see the background guide once. Are there some of the questions which are left? We can get some mod caucus topics from there. Does everyone know about the Hodeidah agreement? You can talk about that as well.
Maybe we should make a mod caucus that talks about not just one like agreement, but then a variety of agreements, since that's the main
Yeah.
part of just something along the lines of. Oh, one second.
We could also take up the Riyadh agreement as told by the chair.
So maybe
Yeah,
we could have
the Riyadh agreement, so we have taken. We
maybe
need
like we could have the agreements with basis to the Yemen crisis, with special focus on the Target China you were just talking about one before the Riyadh one. You talked about agreement, some agreement.
Riyadh Agreement?
No, the one before that. Something with an H. Target to China.
Hodeidah? Hodeidah? I
That.
don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. So with special, so agreements with regards, agreements on the basis of the Yemen crisis with special focus on the Hodeidah agreement.
Why do you want to combine both of them? Since we have a lot of time, we can discuss them at length, right?
No, I'm
So-
not combining the Riyadh agreement, but I don't think, like personally, I don't think we like have enough time to research for an entire modcog on just.
So we can keep it for 60 seconds. 60 seconds is not much. Both of them for 60 seconds each, and we'll keep only for 5 minutes if everyone wants to give one speech only.
Yeah, but then you have to do country-specific research for it too, right? Because at the end of the day, we're delegates representing a country, so you have to give what your country is run to.
And
Country-specific
we also have to make
research.
a variety of GSLs because like 2/3 of the committee is going into GSL, so we definitely need more of that.
Yeah.
And we need to eat.
Okay, guys, so you are in a break right now, and please do join back by 3:30. And yes, do your research.